The dish we will prepare today, Nobianigui, is the old name for grilled beef or bulgogi. This is one of Korea's best known and best loved native dishes. In the old days, Koreans used to enjoy Nobianigui when they had snow at night, but now they eat it all year round. In summer, they especially enjoy it with lettuce leaves.
안녕하세요. Hello everyone, I'm Hwa-Young-jung and I'm your host for More Than Kimchi. 너비아니구이 is the old name for bulgogi, the grilled beef, which is one of the best known and best loved Korea's native dishes. Today, we're going to show you how to make the famous Korean seasoning for marinating beef. And before we start cooking, may I introduce you to Mr. Lee Bo-sun, who's our chef today, and Angie Cronin as our guest.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for coming. 선생님 만나뵈서 반갑습니다. Let's take a look at what we need for today's dish. Here I have sirloin sliced, two kinds. Later I will explain to you. Beef here, and then some vegetables that we're going to serve once beef is cooked. For sauce, for for marinating sauce, I have pear juice, sesame seeds, chopped green onion, sugar, chopped garlic, sesame oil here, and soy sauce.
그럼 너비아니부터 시작하겠습니다.
First, we're going to start with the 너비아니구이. Remember, there are two kinds of beef I told you. One is we call 너비아니구이. The other one is bulgogi. The only difference is the way we cut. So we'll start with the beef, which is a little thicker than the regular bulgogi.
예, 너비아니를 손질을 해야 되겠죠? 예, 손질하는데.
And I'll give some to Angie. So first, what we need to do is preparing this beef. These are sliced a little thicker than regular bulgogi cut. And we'll just follow what Mr. Lee does.
All right.
반절로
We'll cut it in half. And then,
고기가 연하게 조금 다져주세요.
So in order to make the beef tender, we will score the meat on both sides.
뒤집어.
Oh, also, you know what? You need to use the back of the knife because if you use, you might cut the beef totally. So we'll,
Is there a special type of beef that you would choose for this?
for this dish, we use a sirloin, or sometimes you can use short ribs. But try to find it's a little marbleized, so it's not terribly lean. So that way we'll have
need a little bit of the fat in it.
Yes, that way as you roast, you can still enjoy the moisture of the beef.
Okay.
So you score the beef on both sides. This way the beef will be tender, and also it absorbs the marinade sauce a lot better. That's the purpose of scoring the meat. So this, we did it, and
I'm not sure in the States if we score the meat a lot before we marinate it.
Right. But with Korean bulgogi or this, it's very important to score. That way it absorbs the sauce better.
Okay.
The sauce is very important, and later we will show you how to make that sauce. 그걸 더 할까요, 선생님?
예, 다
더 할까요?
됐으면요. 예. 다 됐으면은 양념을.
예.
네.
And
양념을 하기 전에 재료를 좀 손질하죠.
So next we're going to make the marinating sauce. But before we make marinade sauce, we need to prepare a couple different things.
Okay.
So cut the knife and clean our bowl. Yeah. Then maybe I'll get the green onions.
I'm glad he showed me which side of the knife to use. I would have cut my meat up.
Sometimes I forget that too.
제가 마늘을 다지고 그래서 배를 좀 해주십시오.
그러시죠. So while Mr. Lee is preparing garlic, he needs to chop it very fine. You will prepare green onion and perhaps
And what is that he's cutting
that's
now?
Asian pear. Have you had that before?
I've
It's
tried
very
it
different.
once. It's a very different taste.
Very juicy and very crispy.
Someone explained it to me that it was an apple, so I was surprised when I bit into
different,
it. It's
right? Yeah, it's called the pear.
pear.
Pear, but in Korean it's pear. And we will use it as a marinating sauce. That it's almost like using wine. It's kind of same idea. So I will.
Are these available year-round?
Oh yes, yes. Sometimes a little bit high, expensive, maybe a little cheaper, but in Korea it's always around. 선생님 저 볼 하나 주시겠어요?
예.
I need a small bowl to. Oh, thank you. 2 bowls. So
And
you
then
will
should I just
chop the
this?
green onions as this, like this.
Okay.
And Mr. Lee is chopping the garlic very fine.
I'm not sure if I can chop as good as Mr. Lee.
And I think I have the easiest task.
Yes.
So using pear juice is the same idea as you to use wine. And that makes the beef tender.
Would you be able to find the pear juice in the States?
If you don't have pear juice, perhaps you could use chopped onions or dry white wine would be fine.
white
because
wine?
you use sherry too, don't you,
Yes,
when you marinate?
sherry.
So that would work too. 한
I
다음에
don't know if I have mine as fine as Mr. Lee.
yeah.
좀 짜주셔야 돼요. 주스만.
Now with this, I need to
여기
squeeze the liquid out.
I need to watch this.
Yes. So with pear, you make pear juice to marinate the
파도
beef.
다 다졌으면 앞에
Yeah.
놔주세요.
And if you chopped all your, might
Well,
make it a
mine's
little
not
bit
as fine
finer,
as Mr. Lee.
but I think I'm sure the flavor is the same. You would like it to make it a little bit
I need
finer.
a chopping lesson from Mr. Lee.
So here I squeezed only the juice out. So we chopped garlic and then pear juice and then green onions. And as I said before, seasoning sauce is the key for these ingredients. So if you can just remember what ingredients, how much we put, it'll be very easy for you to prepare bulgogi at home or 너비아니구이. So Angel and I will make the bulgogi while Mr. Lee is making 너비아니구이. The only difference of 너비아니구이 and bulgogi is how you slice the meat. So bulgogi, which is ready, sliced when you buy at a store,
Yes.
a lot thinner, almost paper thin compared to 너비아니구이. See those? And 너비아니구이 is more traditional way. It's thicker and broad. Actually, that's
Okay.
the name. 너비아니 literally means broad and wide
And wider.
meat. But the bulgogi literally means grilled beef. that
Can you
is
buy
paper
it
thin.
already pre-sliced
Yes,
at the butcher
pre-sliced.
shop?
Yes, you can do that definitely in Korea and in the States or in
I've
abroad.
seen it in the
You
commissary.
can always go to a Korean market and then ask for
And ask
bulgogi
and they
cut.
would slice it
Right,
for
they
you.
will slice for you. Just basically same seasoning we are using for two kinds of meat. First, you will put soy sauce.
Yes.
Would you like to put?
Okay.
Yeah. You will put soy sauce. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce.
Okay.
그다음에
Yeah.
설탕.
Yeah. And then you will put sugar.
예, 설탕. 1 테이블스푼.
1
1
tablespoon
tablespoon.
of sugar. 그다음에는
Okay.
깨소금.
and then you'll have sesame
The sesame
seeds.
seed.
1 테이블스푼.
1 tablespoon.
마늘.
And then the chopped garlic,
2분의 1 테이블스푼.
half
Half a
tablespoon. Right.
Okay.
And
파
then
다진 거.
The ones you work. Why don't we use the ones you use hard? We can just
That has
yes.
How much is this?
1 테이블스푼.
1 tablespoon. Okay.
The flavor will be just the same. It actually gives nice
I like
color.
Mr. Lee's better.
Yeah.
참기름이요.
And last, you will put sesame oil,
Is that the end?
2 테이블스푼.
about 2 tablespoons. Yes.
Now, is there an ingredient that you can leave out if you? Does it make a big difference in the
Well,
recipe
some
if
people
you're missing
prefer a little
something?
bit of ginger. You can put a little bit of ginger, or if you don't care for garlic, you can reduce the amount. But I think bulgogi sauce is very special that you would like to put all the ingredients
You like
as
to use
much
all
as
of them?
자,
possible.
다 되시면 아까 갈아놓은 배즙을
Yeah.
가지고요.
The final step is we're going to put the
4분의 1
pear
컵을
juice,
넣었어요.
about a quarter cup of pear juice. I'll just
Okay.
pour it here.
I think this is the special taste.
Yes, it's a kind of sweet flavor. Also makes the beef tender by putting the pear juice.
And then
And that's where you will have fun, right? Now in
I
Korean
get to mix
food,
with my
right,
hands.
this is very important.
Both.
You do it with your hands.
Yeah, yeah.
So that way the sauce will be really absorbed well to the beef.
with lots of love.
Yes, like, that's right. Doing very well. See, it's really
Now in the States,
simple.
we don't cook like this very often.
양념이 골고루 배도록.
Yeah,
예.
so that way the seasoning gets through to
Okay.
every part.
Now he's spreading his meat out because it's
It's
sliced
wider,
thicker.
sorry,
But
thicker.
this,
That looks pretty good.
yeah, it
yes.
does. I have a lot of green color in mine.
And the smell of garlic and
smells
the
delicious.
sesame oil is wonderful.
I can't wait to taste it.
Yes, wait for a while. We'll have that chance. we're going to make a special sauce. It's called 쌈장. 쌈장 will be served with the cooked beef and some lettuce. It's like a sauce you are wrapping with the lettuce. I don't know whether you've seen before.
I haven't had that before.
And it's called the 쌈장. These are fermented traditional Korean sauce. This is called 된장, which is fermented bean paste, and this is fermented red pepper sauce. So we will make 쌈장, and these two will be the key ingredients to make. I'll leave it right here. And these pepper looks really hot, but they're not really that hot actually. Slightly spicy and has some sweet flavor.
Yes.
That's the difference from some of those Mexican hot pepper, you know.
But this is a red sweet
This isn't
pepper.
that hot, right? It's
It's
sort
very
of has
good
a
for
little
you.
bit of sweet flavor.
Okay, I'm trying to see how Mr. Lee slices this.
알겠습니다.
Right, that's right. So you make it as a slender
As-
shape and then
okay.
chop it.
All right.
That will mix it with the 쌈장 sauce.
예.
그죠, 선생님? That's pretty good. 그딴
Does
양념
Mr.
뭐가
Lee
들어가나요?
offer any chopping lessons or
마늘,
cooking lessons?
파,
예.
그다음에 참기름 깨소
예.
같이 곁들여가지고
Right,
예,
예.
만들면 되죠.
So what we're gonna
Yeah.
do is use these two sauce and then this vegetable, the pepper they are chopping, and then we'll use green onions, garlic, and those things. We'll mix it together. Here we'll put the ones we chopped. Here. 선생님, 그럼 우리가 섞어야 되지 않나요?
그렇죠,
Shall we
섞어야
mix?
되죠.
Okay. So we have two kinds of peppers chopped here,
Okay.
and I'll give a little bit
주시고.
to Mr. Lee. I'll get a little bit from there. So we get two colors of pepper here,
된장
and then bean paste.
1 테이블스푼,
Yes. 1 tablespoon of 된장.
What would
which
you
is-
substitute
고추장.
for the bean paste?
I don't think you will have
I don't think you
substitute.
can.
No.
No.
This is
간장.
something you have to have it.
2분의 1 테이블.
And then half amount of whatever you put. If you put 2 tablespoons of bean paste, you
Yes,
will put a half
half.
amount of this red pepper sauce.
그다음에 마늘,
네.
And these would be
1
available in the
teaspoon.
Korean market.
Yes, definitely. 마늘을 얼마큼 집어넣을까요, 선생님?
1 티스푼,
1
teaspoon.
teaspoon. About chopped garlic
Okay.
and
그냥 1 테이블스푼.
same amount, 1 teaspoon of chopped green onion.
그다음에
Yeah.
깨소금
Sesame seeds.
1 테이블스푼.
And this is a
Little bit.
paste we will
You will
serve
use
with.
it as serve with the beef and the lettuce.
참기름 마지막으로
And then last, we will use the sesame oil. 얼마큼 볶아요, 선생님?
2 테이블스푼.
2 tablespoon of sesame oil.
해가지고 섞어주시면 되죠.
That's it.
And is it best to prepare this paste
Uh-huh.
while your meat is marinating? Or?
Well, just we don't want to wait. You know, it doesn't matter. You can make this in advance, but meat needs to be marinated usually about an hour or
But
hour
can you
and a
make this
half.
a day before or have it in the
definitely,
refrigerator?
Sure, yes. You don't really have to make it just before you serve. But today we want to show you how to make this sauce while we are marinating the beef.
아주 맛있게 됐죠?
Yeah, 색깔이 아주 이쁘네요. The
Yeah,
color
yeah.
is very pretty.
Yes, it
nice,
is.
kind of orangish with the red pepper inside. And remember, this pepper isn't really that hot. It
No,
gives
it's
a little
very
bit of
sweet.
spice. And of course, bean paste is not hot, and we have this little spicy red pepper sauce, but it's not really that hot. It's a fermented flavor, so it's not really that hot. So here we prepare the 쌈장 here. If you pass it the dish,
자, 지금
This
Yeah.
a small one here?
then we'll put what we prepared here. This is the finished 쌈장, the sauce that we will use with the
Doesn't
beef.
take very long.
No.
자,
See how
다음은
simple it is? We'll put it over there.
Okay.
고기를 굽는 과정이 있습니다.
Yeah.
No.
자, 그쪽에서는 저 불고기를 구워주세요.
Yeah. So now it's next we're gonna grill the meat. So while Mr. Lee is cooking 너비아니구이, we'll use bulgogi. And this is in a regular grill you can get. It's very common in Korea, getting this kind of stuff. So Mr. Lee will use this grill. And this is bulgogi grill that's very popular in Korea. And don't worry if you don't have it, because you can also use pan, regular
Just a
frying
regular
pan.
frying pan?
That will be
Okay.
fine. So we need to wait until this gets a little bit hotter.
Okay.
So you have to make sure the pan is very hot,
Very hot.
because you don't want to cook it too long. It's important to cook on a high heat for a short time. That way you don't lose the good beef juice. So while
And then do you have to preheat it with oil or?
기름은 안 발라도
예,
괜찮을까요?
발라야 됩니다.
예, 그럼 어떤 걸로 쓸까요, 기름은요? You're right. We need to
해가지고.
grease a little bit, and then we'll use a cloth.
Is there a special oil to use for it or?
어떤 걸로 쓰나요? 참기름으로 쓰나요?
예.
Yeah. We'll use sesame oil.
눌러보지 않죠.
How about if I do that instead of
Okay.
with your
Right
nice?
here.
He just pours it on here and then on
and then
the
you
pan.
just rub it to grease it. So by using cloth, you can control the amount of oil.
Oh, I
so
like
it's not
this.
so greasy.
Yes.
The smell of 참기름, the sesame oil is really
Smells
good.
great. Is that enough on there? Okay.
So we'll start. So it's
And then you
important
make
to,
it thin.
yeah, right, to spread it. And
Spread
it's
it.
very important to preheat the pan. That way you are not losing the juice of meat.
Okay.
Actually it's the same idea as what you would prepare beef. You don't want to cook it too long.
No.
Then you lose all the, the
it gets
delicious
tough.
juice. That's right.
The sesame oil smells wonderful. And then you put it all on? And,
Yes.
Okay.
And
Put all
it's
of it-
important not to be crowded too much.
Okay.
All one layer.
All one layer?
Yes.
Okay, and spread it out.
Smells wonderful. I wish you can all smell what we, what we
Yes.
smell. So here you can see,
And there's the
it
wider.
loses its shape because it's paper thin cut. But 너비아니구이 is wider and thicker cut. So depending on your need or your preference, you can cook two different ways. But basically, it's the same dish, same seasoning and same cut, same meat.
The bulgogi looks like it's more suited for a frying pan than a grill. You have the wider pieces.
And if you use frying pan, thin paper cut, this kind of bulgogi is a lot easier to cook.
Yes.
And it doesn't take that long to cook, so I think it's a better
And then
choice.
we turn it over once.
고기가 식일 때는
예.
청주를 좀 넣어가지고
예.
장시간 더 재워가지고
예,
하면
예.
아주 연하죠.
And Mr. Lee was saying if the beef is tough, you can also use rice wine and marinate it for a long time.
Oh.
You chop a little bit of onions
And the rice
and
wine?
then rice wine, and then let it marinate sometimes 5 hours or so. And then after that, you put the rest of the seasoning.
Okay.
So that way you will
And
make
I
the
would
beef
use a
tender.
fork at home to turn it.
Actually,
This might take
chopstick
me
is,
too long,
no,
but
chopstick is
maybe I will
actually a
learn.
lot handier.
When I leave Korea, I will know how to use
But
chopsticks
once you learn
properly.
how to use chopstick,
Yes.
you will realize this is handier than fork. You have better control because
over it.
you can be more precise when you pick something up. So you will like chopstick better eventually. Try it. We'll start serving ours, putting in a dish too.
Okay. And is this a traditional way to serve it on a
On
leaf
the, well,
or
that
with rice?
you can use lettuce. This is only just for decoration. And here we use this is called 깻잎. It's wild sesame seed leaves, and
pretty.
we use it almost like a salad. It has a very nice flavor. Later you get to taste it. So we'll use this as a decoration, and then we'll put the beef that's cooked already.
Okay. Here's a nice piece. And then you just
Right.
lay it on there.
And because it's sliced very thin, it doesn't take that long. I think we have to
소리도
get
맛있긴 하죠.
Yes, it's
I
it's
just
the
love the
sizzling
smell
sound
of it.
and the sound of sizzling.
Yes.
Very nice. So this is it can be a family food or it can be a very nice formal dinner too, depending on how you present it. And wonderful for picnic too, for barbecuing, outdoor barbecuing. It's very nice.
Can you get charcoal in the local stores at the
definitely.
butcher or
Right. You can buy it at a supermarket,
At the
readily
supermarket,
available,
too?
or at the butcher. They
Okay.
always sell it. It's rather inexpensive to get Korean-style charcoal.
This was the 1st dish I had in Korea.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the one of the best known Korean dish, and just everybody loves it. I haven't seen anybody who doesn't like to eat this except unless you're a vegetarian. Okay.
Yes. Then it's a little problem.
I think I'm going to turn off the.
Okay. It's getting
Yes.
a little hot there. I can put that on.
다 됐습니까?
Yeah. I'd like
Sure.
to put the rest. So Angie, did you see anything different to how you would do in the States? How would you barbecuing or marinate your meat there?
Well, I think for most of us, we marinate a large piece of meat.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
round steak or your chicken, all in pieces, and pour your salad dressings or your sauces that you make over it.
Yeah.
So this is a lot different, having it cut up and in smaller
Right.
pieces.
So definitely you can certainly try with your other barbecue
Yes.
meat to try the Oriental sauce or this bulgogi sauce. It's
So-
just very versatile. You can use with chicken or you can use different cut of meat too.
And there are a lot of ready-made sauces. I think it's nice to use all of the fresh
from
ingredients
scratch.
from
That's
scratch.
Right. Yeah.
And then we have to arrange it nice.
Yeah. And then as a final finish, spread a little bit of sesame seeds. Looks wonderful. Look at
다
this.
됐습니다.
So this is our product. Smells wonderful. Very nice. I hope you remember all the seasoning sauce. So you
I
can
will try it.
tonight
I
for your
will.
dinner. 그 한번 이제 보여드리죠.
예. 됐습니다.
Doesn't seem to take a lot of time.
No, it doesn't.
There's not really a lot
No.
of
So
chopping.
the only
and
thing, yeah, the chopping was the
But that's not-
vegetables, you know, those sauce a little bit before you make it. That was the only thing you need to chop. And then it's marinating, hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever, depending on the meat you have.
Right.
And then the rest is just quick roasting, that's all. So
I think
here,
it's fast to the dinner table.
yes, that's right. So here we have 너비아니구이 and the bulgogi. I hope you like today's recipe and make sure you try it at home.
다
Finishing
됐습니다.
touch.
Yes, it looks wonderful.
Yes.
Now it's time for us to show you the summary of the whole procedure.
Koreans also enjoy grilled meat, which is similar to barbecued meat in Western countries. Our grilled meat is available everywhere and is often cooked in homes where there is little tradition of oven baking. Grilled food in Korea was traditionally cooked over charcoal, made from an oak tree. The tree was cut down, then burned in the charcoal kiln. Grilling today is still best done over charcoal. A grill not only enhances the taste of the meat, but also is helpful because the grease drains away. Koreans have developed two types of grilled meat, 소고기를 and 너비아니, or bulgogi. 소고기를 literally means grilled beef with salt. It is seasoned with salt, pepper, and sesame oil. To make nobiani or bulgogi, the beef is marinated before grilling with soy sauce, sugar, sesame oil, chopped green onions, chopped garlic, pepper, and sesame seeds. It is said that in the old days, Koreans especially enjoyed bulgogi when they had snow at night. So back then, bulgogi was called solamyo, which means food for a snowy night. If you use pork, you should add gochujang, or red pepper paste, to reduce the fatty taste. And it is called 돼지고기 bulgogi. Grilled meat dishes have been important to the Korean cuisine for a very long time. Throughout history, from traditional homes to restaurants in every village, these dishes can be found all throughout Korea. Among them, 너비아니, or bulgogi, is one of the best known and best loved of Korean native grilled meat dishes.
Wow, everything looks wonderful here. So
자,
we 볼까요?
그러면-
Shall we
예, 예.
start?
Yes, I'm interested in all of the,
Yeah.
the salads that we have here. Is
Yeah.
there a special way
Well, we'll
prepare
ask
it?
Mr. Lee how we eat, but first I would
Okay.
like to tell you what these vegetables are. This is lettuce leaves, as you know, red leaf lettuce and
Right.
green. And this is called sukkat, which is, in English you would say chrysanthemum leaves, but it has a very distinctive aroma with it, very nice flavor. So you can add that a little bit. And if you are more adventurous, sometimes you can use those garlic and then red
And the
pepper,
peppers.
together. So
Okay.
that'd be nice.
시시가
Yeah.
예.
So you can follow what he does. So you get the lettuce.
Okay.
불고기하고 벌써 다르죠?
Yeah.
너비아니하고요.
So the bulgogi and nobiani, you can tell it's a different kind of shape. So you can
Okay.
choose anything you like.
I'm going to try Mr.
Yeah.
Lee's.
Okay.
쌈장 조금하고.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try one too.
Okay. And then just a little taste of the
Right.
paste. Okay. On the meat.
취향에 따라 가지고 숟갓도 맛있죠.
If you like, would you like to put one? This
Yes, I'll try
chrysanthemum-
this
It's called
chrysanthemum.
sukkat, chrysanthemum
Sukkat?
leaves.
Mm.
How do you
That's
like
delicious.
it? Yes. I'll just
I
make
can
it a
taste the
smaller bite.
paste.
And if you like, you can put a little bit of rice inside too when you wrap it. So depending on, if it's only for drink, you can sometimes have just beef and lettuce only. And if it's a part of the meal, you can also use rice inside.
And would you eat this year round?
Oh, sure,
Yes.
definitely. So this can be a real nice treat for family Sunday dinner or for, nice guests or even a casual picnic. It's very versatile, this dish.
너비아니도 한번 드셔보세요.
It's very good. And you can feel the sauce that we made. And the amount of soy sauce is very important.
In
And
that.
it just has to be right. Very good. Oh, that's going to be a big bite for
I
you.
know. I couldn't get enough.
Yeah.
Couldn't drop it too much, huh? I tried to put some of the
Right.
rice on.
It's very, refreshing actually because of the
I like
lettuce.
this.
Did you try that chrysanthemum? How do you like that? That has you can
has a
actually
different
smell it, right? Different
Smell to
flavor
it.
and different
And then
smell
what are
to
the
it.
side dishes? Are these served?
In Korean food, we always serve, many different kind of side, dishes. You don't just serve one, meal dish or like that. So many different side dishes is a very common thing to have with your meal.
And that's normally
Really?
served
Oh,
with
yes,
it
right,
all the time?
right. Have you had this similar food before?
No, I
something?
haven't. No.
So this
no,
probably
this
is the
first
most
time.
typical Korean food that everybody loves.
It's delicious.
Today you learned how to make the most popular Korean meat dish called 너비아니구이 and bulgogi. And it is said that if you can make one traditional food, you will get to know the culture. So why don't you prepare 너비아니구이 and bulgogi for dinner and experience the culture of Korean cuisine with your family and friends. I'd like to thank Mr. Lee for coming today, and Angie, thanks for coming. And thank you for joining us today. 안녕히 계세요.